I have reviewed nearly every all-in-one squat rack, like this one from Rogue. Also this one, the Rep Aries 2.0. Don't forget the Vesta, also the Fringe Sport Dane 1.0, which are kind of the same. Including this one, the latest and greatest from Iron Master, the Valhalla, which, wait a second, have I reviewed this one? No, not yet. Make sure you subscribe. You can see that one forthcoming. But of all the all-in-ones I've reviewed, this one is truthfully one of the most well thought out, well designed, with some caveats, rack I've ever used. This is the ForceUSA C20. Let's get in review. Hey guys, it's Coop from Garage Gym Reviews. Welcome into the gym. Today we are reviewing this bad boy. As you saw in the intro, I do think this is one of the most well-designed, well-thought-through squat racks I've ever used. Now that does not mean I think it's the best. There are certainly some caveats you'll see I give. There's some critiques I have, but there are so many freaking details on this thing. It's actually gonna be very fun to review. So let's get into it. First off, there is a lot going on here. I'm gonna break it down. As you can see, it's a standard squat rack. I'll walk through the frame and things like that. But I wanna start with the thing that's most interesting outside of some really unique pulley magic they're doing that I haven't seen yet, which I'll talk about in a moment. But outside of the pulley magic, which is really cool, I'll show you a little bit later, is this guy. This is, I think, their magnum opus on this entire rack. These are their freestyle pulley arms, which I will say are one of the earlier cases of these being available. There are other companies that have these. They're most inspired by the Free Motion Dual Cable Cross, the greatest functional trainer, in my opinion, of all time, which I have and absolutely love. But offering those in an integrated rack can be difficult. So companies have started to come out with things like these, and that's what ForceUSA has done. ForceUSA isn't the first one to offer this on a rack. I would say the first one that was most popular is the GetRx Tornado arms, which are good. I will just say these are vastly better. These are very good. Let me show you what they can do. First off, you have the ability to go up and down on the upright. They are, I will say, not super easy to go up and down on the upright. Part of that is the weight of them. Part of that also is because you've got weight out front. So when you're trying to basically go up, it kind of grinds into the upright. They're using a plastic slip on the inside of the sleeve, very similar to, say, what Rep does, which allows it to go up and down kind of smoothly on the rack, but isn't nearly as nice as, say, what Rogue's using on their pulley system trolley that allows it to roll up and down on the upright. If I do have a critique of these arms, that's the biggest one, which is honestly pretty minor. But you have the option to go all the way down and then all the way up on the upright as well. But in addition to the ability to go up and down on the upright, you also have side-to-side locking mechanism as well. So you have 5 different options for locking in side to side. So you can lock in at any angle, which means you can get really wide if you want a wider stretch on, say, a cable fly or something of that sort, or you want to work off the side of the rack while somebody works on the other side of the rack. There's multiple cases that you'd want to use that. But in addition to going side to side, up and down on the upright, it also goes up and down on the arm itself. So there's 4 different options for going up and down on this side. So you can go all the way down low. Let's say if you wanted to get to the absolute bottom of the trolley, which is around here. Actually, it can go lower than that because I've got a landmine. Let me show you on this one. Here. So your pulley is essentially at the floor, which honestly, this would be pretty great for a belt squat application if you had a platform, because that pulley is honestly really low. But that also means you can go all the way up to the top, including this. So if you were tall or you wanted to, say, put an attachment in here, which you could, more on the frame here in a moment, you could, and then you have a pretty long cable travel for things like lat pull downs or whatever else you want to use it for, which you probably don't even want to use this for lat pull downs because you also have integrated lat pull down in the middle with a lot of freaking weight. Talk about that in a moment. These arms are quite detailed in how they've thought through this. In fact, when I was at Home Gym Con, one of their guys pulled me aside and said, we basically watched all your reviews and tried to make this something you personally would like. One of the things with ForceUSA, I've been pretty harsh over the years with some of the reviews, and people get upset at that. And a lot of companies, when I'm harsh with them, they'll basically just send me an email that they're really mad at me. But it's really nice when a company, instead of getting really mad, just says, oh, maybe we should make a better product. And that's exactly what they've done with this. I'm pretty pleased, actually. But One thing that they're doing is they're trying to make like a design ethos, which this isn't crazy important, but I do think it matters, and especially if you're spending quite a bit of money on a rack. So they've got this like nice design here, which is a cornerstone. It's like a little box, because they're saying like this is the cornerstone of the rest of your gym, which a functional trainer rack, that is what it is. You will build your gym and your training based off all the stuff that you have in here. And so the more that you can pack in this, especially if you have a compact space, you're low on real estate, which most people are in their home gyms, this is the cornerstone. So I just love that motif, and they've added it to a lot of different things. But different cues that they've taken from our reviews. One is a call out that I gave on a Rogue FM trainer, which is the fact that the uprights have the numbers on the front. Because they went back to the drawing board and basically redid all of this, they could figure out like, this is the things that we want in this, so they can make some changes. One of those is something you may see. There's no laser cut numbers on the front, which you're like, oh, that stinks. Well, that's because they put laser cut numbers on the side, which is really nice when you're doing these arms up and down, because you can see exactly which number you're in. But then you're like, well, that then affects your J-cups. Not necessarily, because the J-cups and the spotter arms actually go in from the side, which is something I'll talk about in a moment. But the amount of freaking accessories that come with these, and not just crappy accessories, but accessories I think you'd actually want, is really well done. I mean, look at these. They go in from the side, and then they have a cutout in the stainless pin so that they just literally drop in. You don't need any extra security. I will say, it would be nice if there was an extra hole on the back, so you could technically put in a pin if you wanted to, but regardless, I think these are gonna be secure enough for most applications. One thing I'd say is if you just have a barbell on here, I mean, there is potential where if you're shaking it side to side, that technically it could fall out. I think that's gonna be in small cases. That's why I just say, ForceUSA, I think it would be cool if you had an extra security pin just in case. But on the details, knurling. And you'll see this is like the case for nearly everything on here. They've added knurling basically anywhere you could, and it's a sandwich J-cup. And this isn't like an upgrade feature, this is what comes with the rack. But more on the accessories here in a little bit. One of the other things that they've added to this is something, I don't know if they took this as an idea from this company, but it's a completely different application. Regardless, PRX has the halo arms, and the halo arms both go up and down, but side to side. One thing that they did to make it free motion was they had a pop pin that you pulled out and then turned to the side, so then it would be free motion. So it would go side to side, no problem. This has that as well. So now you can use this for dynamic movements and other things with it free floating. So it's always staying centered. I will say, this is not a feature that personally I'll use a lot. This is also not a feature that I think you should buy the machine for. I think it's a nice addition, and I don't think it costs a whole lot more to put this pin and then like a little cutout in this stopper here. So it's nice that it has it. I just say I would not buy this machine just because it has this. But it's a nice add-on, and it doesn't seem like they're marketing it overly heavy and saying like this is a game changer, because it's not. It's just a nice little addition. Another thing of note, the quality on this is very well done. 360 rotation of the front trolley with bearings, which means you can go any angle you want. Just the amount of like adjustability you have on this is really nice. And then you also see the stability on this versus say the GetRx Tornado arms is pretty good. Yes, there's more wiggle than ideally you'd want, but you're not doing a ton of dynamic movements. Typically, most people aren't in their home gym on cable machines. So once you're set and ready to go, it locks in and feels good. But because you have the adjustability, that means you can also add it to different things on your rack. So if you really wanted to get creative, and this is something that we've done with GetRx Tornado arms, is you can technically use these functional trainer arms on something like your Smith machine. It does require some workarounds. You have to be considerate of how you do it, but you can take a strap, pull this up, wrap it around the Smith machine bar, and then you can use it in that way. That's something that you can do on this thanks to this arm and thanks to the rotation that's on the front that you can't do with a lot of other machines. I will say, if I do have a critique on this whole machine, one thing I would have liked to see, the ability to integrate the cable stacks more with the Smith machine bar. But let me go ahead and show you the Smith machine bar. Many all-in-one racks that you find today, I'm talking about like the Rogue FM trainer, the Rep Aries 2.0, the Bells of Steel Kraken, many of them don't come with Smith machines integrated. They're working on Smith machines that you can then add to them, but one thing that's nice about this is it has one already integrated, and I will say, this is actually really good for a Smith machine in a home gym. The bar itself weighs 35 pounds. ForceUSA does sell some that is offset, so it basically gets to 0 pounds. They didn't do that on this one, but they made it light enough that I think it's a good start weight and even lighter than most barbells. It's on guide rods, and let me tell you, it is extremely smooth. If you're used to using a Smith machine and you use it a lot in a commercial gym, this has a very similar feel to that. The knurling on it though is even better than what you find on most commercial machines, Smith machines. It's actually a pretty nice knurling. I think it's an E-coat that they put on here, and they actually have both IWF and IPF standard knurl marks in the bar. And the forward and back, up and down, everything about it is just very smooth. I mean, just listen. And because of the way they shaped it, it actually goes both pretty low and pretty high. I can almost reach a full standing overhead press, and I'm really, really tall. I'm not, 5'9½". But one of the other features that they added to this is the ability to lock it up top. I think it's about 6'4" or so from the top of the bar to the bottom. So if you're under that, you can walk in and out without worry about it hitting you. But then they have the stoppers here on the side. They're very compact, which means you can lower these all the way to the bottom, and you can actually use your Smith machine for deadlifts and RDLs and movements like that, where often they have springs. Say when I reviewed the Bells of Steel Smith machine, the lowest you could go was basically here. So you had to stand up on something to deadlift. Whereas this, you can drop it to the bottom and you're pretty much at shin height that you would find when you were using a barbell for deadlifts. I'll show you by putting a plate on. So you're basically 4 inches or so off the ground. So it's kind of like you're simulating a block deadlift. The bar's a little bit higher off the ground, but really good for a Smith machine. Now the stoppers themselves move up and down very smoothly on the guide rods. It's because it's not just metal on metal. They've got some sort of bearing or bushing on the inside, and similar to the rest of the machine, like they didn't just go with a standard off-the-shelf piece. It's got knurling on it, so it feels good to grab it. It's just like the details. It's very nice, very well done. Okay, then to the frame. As you can see, they're using a standard upright size. This is one of the things that I critiqued heavily on previous ForceUSA machines because they had a unique upright size, unique holes, and basically if you wanted to use their uprights, you had to have their attachments. Very annoying because they make decent attachments, but there's a lot of companies that make attachments that you would want to add to the rack. Well, now you can add them on this guy. This is a 3x3, they call it. It's technically 75 by 75 millimeter. I mean, when you see 3x3 online, you pretty much have to assume it's 75 by 75 millimeter if it's imported.
Wait, ForceUSA is not made in the USA?
No, it's made in PRC, People's Republic of China. So they actually made the uprights where you can use other people's attachments. It's a 3x3 upright with 11 gauge steel, 1-inch holes all throughout. The holes are offset, which is what you're used to using. You can use other attachments that you'd find from other companies. And I already said this, but I want to walk through the attachments here in a moment. The attachments on this have blown me away. I was like, usually when companies throw in attachments and like accessories, they suck. It's just like, let's just throw in a bunch of stuff and then it will show it on the screen. We have like 5 billion different things, which they actually do on this. They've got, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Oh my goodness. This is all the stuff it comes with. It's just a lot of stuff. So it's nice that it comes with a ton of different stuff, but it only matters if you're actually gonna use it. The accessories on this are actually really good. Then to what the cables are attached to, and that's the stacks back here. So ForceUSA has done something a little bit unique versus other companies. Let's say the Rep Aries. The Rep Aries has the stacks on the back right here, which is really nice because it does free up space to be able to use the power rack function. If there is one thing that some people may really not like about this, it's the fact that it doesn't have a power rack. It's not technically a power rack. It's more like a half rack. Now, they do have 6 posts. If you can include this a post, they have 8 posts, but they really do have 6 uprights that you use. But the only real uprights that you're going to use for accessories are these front 2 ones. So it would be kind of nice if they put these stacks in a little bit different orientation so you could use these ones. But something else unique that they're doing that nobody else really does is they're actually angling it. So the machine actually comes kind of stacked in. The nice thing about that is when you're adjusting the weight, it's kind of like forward facing you, kind of like when you're in a car and the screen, let's say it's in the middle and they have it tilted to the side to the driver. It's kind of like that. Like it's kind of like implemented so it's all inward facing so it's easy to change. The stacks that they come with though are 200-pound stacks. There's some really unique pulley magic on this, and I'll tell you about it. It's actually one of the coolest things I think they have on this, which I feel like they didn't talk about a lot. But the 200-pound stack is 2-to-1 off the front, which means you're gonna get basically 100 pounds off the front, which is more than enough for most functional trainers. I'll just show you kind of the distance we're working with here. That's basically what you've got on cable travel off the front. But they have multiple pulleys up top and multiple pulleys down low so that you can either separate these or combine them to have either a 2-to-1 ratio or a 1-to-1 ratio. So if you have these separate, they're on a 2-to-1 ratio, the exact same weight as what you'd find on the front trolley. But if you combine them, and you can combine them using a banana clip that they include, which is pretty nice, you can use them together for lat pull downs. And because you have the Smith machine integrated, you can lower this down, set it at the desired height, use the barbell pad that they have included with it, put this on here, put it on your legs, and then you have a knee holder for lat pull downs, either bilateral or unilateral, whichever way you want to use it. I think the most unique thing with the pulleys is actually this lower one, because they're doing something on this that I haven't seen other companies do yet that's already integrated. So you can use this on either a 1-to-1 ratio, 1-to-1 meaning you use one of these pulleys, you're gonna get all 200 pounds, which by the way, it comes with a 200-pound stack. You can upgrade all the way up. You can see they've got these multiple horns here that basically they're stackers to separate. You can add either one weight stack addition, which is 50 pounds for each side, or two, so you can get all the way up to 300 pounds. And it's not gonna reduce your cable travel. So you don't have to replace cables or anything like that. If you're gonna do it, I would recommend doing it from the beginning, because the assembly on this, it wasn't super easy, which I think that's worth talking about. Sam actually sent me a video when we first got this bad boy in.
Okay guys, we got the building team here. Q, show me this instruction manual, or is it a book?
It's a book.
Ooh. We'll see you guys. We'll do some updates as we go along. They have labeled the plastic wrap by step. Let that be a lesson to you. Don't unwrap all your Christmas gifts first, because then you're not gonna know what goes where. All right, we are 3.5 hours in with 2 people. We have the frame assembled. We have weight stacks on. We're like 4 hours in. We are getting to the cabling. Here's a hack that you can actually do with the C20 that you were not able to do with some other previous models. And that is simply grab yourself an Allen wrench, unscrew this guy here, let the bolt fall wherever, it doesn't matter. And then you can just pop this end off, see? Look how nice and easy that is. Pop the end off, take your ball off, set it to the side, and then you can run your cable once you already have your pulleys on, as opposed to trying to run your cable while installing your pulleys, or putting your pulleys on loosely and then having to undo one at a time to run your cable. You're welcome. Hours wise, we have about 15 hours in it. Definitely probably gonna want 2 people, but I think you can do it with 1 person. It's just gonna be safer to have 2 people for sure. Way, way better than anything that ForceUSA has put out in the past as far as assembling goes.
Back to the review. If you want the 200 pounds, comes with it fully, but if you want more weight, up to 300 pounds, which ends up being a lot of weight on some of the pulleys, I still have to tell you about this one, then you can upgrade it all the way to 300 pounds. And I will say, something worth noting, I've noticed there are some companies that will sell weight stack upgrades, where it seems like they're just trying to make some money on the weight stack upgrades, when to me it's like, they already bought your thing, just give them a good deal on it. It seems like they're pricing it according to what they actually cost and not trying to just pull one over on people that haven't bought it all integrated. The price on it seems pretty equitable. Okay, another thing, just details. Again, this is actually their pin for the weight stack. It's a magnetic pin that is exactly like their band peg they include, that is magnetic as well. Sam, me. But just a nice detail that you can quickly implement it. Okay, they are fully shrouded, as you'll see. They have the keyholes on the side with, again, just little details. Little knobs that you can put in here that fit in, and then you can quickly attach your pieces. Same thing on the back. They're using the keyholes for the pegboards, and they have this shelf right here. Nice arch logo with stainless steel background, but down to the low row. The low row, I said does have the 1-to-1 pulley. So if you use a single one, that's 1-to-1. But the most unique thing is that they've gone beyond what a lot of companies have done and just offered 2-to-1 or 1-to-1. This bad boy actually offers a 1-to-2 ratio. 1-to-2 means it doubles again. So if you have a 300-pound stack on here, if you use one of these pulleys, you're getting 300 pounds. But wait, if you combine them, you get all the power. 600 pounds resistance at these bottom pulleys. That is amazing. You're like, why would I want 600 pounds on the bottom pulley? Because you're not going to be rowing 600 pounds. You're not, I am. But the reason that you want 600 pounds on a low pulley is because you can use this with their future C20 bench. They're working on a C20 bench. They have a C10 bench, which is a sliding bench, which I used at Home Gym Con, and it's like, it's okay. It needed some work. It has an integrated hack squat leg press. That's what this is for. This is actually a diamond plate foot plate that locks in here that you can use for leg presses using the stacks. But imagine the possibilities if potentially they come out with something like a belt squat that you can use with your 600 pounds on the low pulleys. Or you can use it with their future sliding bench. I think it's amazing. I love that integration. The biggest thing I'd say is like, why would you not integrate that as well with the Smith machine? You've got the cables, you got the pulley magic, figure out a way to integrate it with the Smith machine so you can use it with that too. It's one reason people really like the Inspire fitness rack, because you can use the weight stacks with the Smith machine. I always thought that was a cool implementation. Regardless, having 600 pounds on the low row is awesome. Now they do have this diamond foot plate which goes in and out, again using a knurled knob, very smart. These are swiveling, very similar to what we see with the Aries 2, so they do swivel, so they basically stay in line at all times. This, you can use it on the floor. They also say you can put a decline bench, very similar to what Rep says, and then you can use your feet on this. I would say it doesn't work really well that way. If you're gonna use this, you pretty much have to sit on the floor. The height of the low row is a little bit lower than I'd like, but I think they're doing that so they can connect to the sliding bench, so I'm fine with that implementation. I'll also say, they've got this hole here. I would love to see some other attachments besides just the diamond foot plate. Something like a chest support pad, so you could use this for rows with chest support on this. It could be angled similar to the Prime Stability pad. I think that would be a cool implementation, or if you got it to go really long, and then you could use it with your front trolleys for like a back pad for cable flies and things like that. I think there's just more that they could add to this. Now to some of the accessories. This is the half safety spotter arms. These are some of the coolest things that they offer with this. It does come with it. They're using the same cornerstone motif, the knurled knob, stainless pin, which does have the cutouts on either side, so you can put these in. And I'll just show you one way that you can use these is you can place them in the rack on both sides, and they actually include these handles. So these handles are similar to what Mutant Metals basically made their name off of. They're a handle that basically goes in a hole, and then you can use it for pull-ups and dips, things like that. So in this instance, they have this knurled knob that's on the end, which actually has this UHMW on the side, so you're not scratching it. One thing I will say, like, part of this I just nitpick, and that's because I review things for a living. I don't think this is a deal breaker by any means, but it's just something I noticed. Sometimes you want to put things right next to each other. So if I put this on this one, and then I take this one off, you really would probably only do this if you're storing something, but it would be nice if they made these knobs so they were a little bit smaller, so then you could fit two of them on there side by side. But because of the size, you can't do that. Not a huge deal, just something I was gonna point out. But you can put these in here on both sides, lock them in, and then you can use them for dips. But you can also put them up top, and then you can also use them for pull-ups. But these are fully knurled. These aren't like an additional cost, they just come with it. They're also quite heavy because they're solid. It would be sweet if they're aluminum, but they may not be able to hold that much weight. If you're doing heavy dips, say off the front there, and you're doing weighted, it is nice because they are, like, this is a battering ram. They also thought through the storage on this, so you can store these on this back horizontal cross member, which is nice, just so you can get them out of the way, because you will want to do that often whenever you're using the cables. Then the pull-up bar. They have a multi-grip pull-up bar with knurling. It's a very passive knurling, which is nice. The knurling actually on the insides is lighter than the knurling on this front bar. That may not be on purpose, that may just be the tooling they used and it got worn out over time. But it's not overly passive, feels pretty good, And they're modular like the rest of the machine. So you can take them off using those same knurled knobs and move them farther over, closer together. Then another accessory, small one, landmine. They made a landmine post that's actually really well designed, very simple, goes on, use their same knurled knobs, very smooth, but also comes with a magnet that allows you to store it upright. Cable handles, knurled, included. These handles, which this looks just like a normal handle, I love these handles. They're really lightweight. They're aluminum. Lat pull down bar, a little bit of an angle curl bar, straps. I mean, there's just D handle, band pegs. I mean, everything is just really thought through, including even like little things like the top here for the lat pull down low row and the functional trainer stacks. They have this adder plate that goes over the top, so it's integrated. One little thing, it would be nice if you could just shove it up like we've seen from Life Fitness, but very minor again. You just quickly pop it in, get it in, and then you can add weight. I mean, this thing is just so many details and well thought through. So that leads you to the thought, it must be really cheap, right? No, it's not. It's not. Why? How much do you think this costs? Show your beautiful face. Do you get in front of camera? This is
the first time.
Okay.
First time on this channel.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, Lindsay's.
Okay.
Like a lot.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, you talk to.
Do you see this guy?
Yeah. What are you doing up
I'm
there?
trying to stay awake.
Okay. How much do you think it costs?
Well, if the Rogue Rhino's 7,000, I'm gonna go.
But that's Rogue.
Because it's ForceUSA, I'm gonna go 5,500.
5,500. At 5,500, do you think that's a good value?
Yeah, I think it's decent.
Okay. What would you think it is at 6,500?
Not bad. Not
Okay.
great.
Okay. This is 6,500 bucks. Now, if I would have said 6,500 bucks for an all-in rack like 5 years ago, I don't know. You know, it's just like that's out of the realm of possibility. But thanks to inflation and a lot of other things, racks have gone up a lot. Now, if you compare this to other racks on the market, your Rogue FM trainers, your Rep, Aries, the really higher end stuff. ATX is coming, which we have one out there. We have the Ironmaster Valhalla. I don't think it's out of the realm of price. It is just really expensive. There's just I mean, 6,500 bucks is a lot of money. I don't care who you are for a all-in-one rack. Now, does it garner that price? Let's just say we take the price out of it. It's one of the most well-designed integrated racks I've used. And I think because they built it from the ground up. They really did a tremendous job. You just have to decide, do you want something that comes with everything already integrated and well done, or are you a tinkerer and like to add things yourself? Because one of the reasons they're charging 6,500 bucks is because they're also including all freaking different accessories, all different kind of stuff that usually companies don't include. You have to pay extra for, so you can pick and choose. Now, one of the nice things is they didn't just throw in really cheap stuff and then charge you a lot for it. They actually made it good. The quality's good, the accessories are good. This is their creme de la gym. This is their magnum opus, without a doubt.
Okay, Coop, quick question. Because you have used all the all-in-ones at this point, would you put this, what, top 2, top 3, top 5?
Okay, so you have your Rep Aries and your Rogue FM trainer, in my opinion, at the top. I think it's top 3. I think what they did was they were just like, what's the rack we would build if we didn't care about costs? Which it is expensive. There's little details that they've done that I don't love, but I think they're doing it to save money. This is not a standard power rack construction. They're using a 3x3 upright, but if you buy this, it's not like you're gonna disassemble this and then turn it into another rack. Like the amount of 3x3 uprights I have that I've turned into something else, it's awesome. This is not that kind of rack. It is an all-in-one built out for this company. So you can use other companies' accessories, but it's not like you're gonna use this and then turn it into something future compatible, because they're doing some of these smaller bolts, which I'm fine with. It's a flat foot rack. It's made for home gyms. I'm fine with that. If that leads to 6,500 instead of $7 grand. So you have to decide if those meet the features that you want. But I've looked at a lot of all-in-ones, and this one is definitely up there. Let me know of anything that you want to know else about it, any comparisons you like to hear versus other racks. This is a lot of money you're spending on a rack, so do your due diligence. But this has been Coop from Garage Gym Reviews. I'll see you next time. Peace.